Hey, this is Passy from Passy's World of ICT, the guy with the white hat. And today we got an Adobe Animate lesson where we're going to learn to draw some aliens and also how to use the Animate library because the library is a very useful feature of Adobe Animate. So in this lesson, the main thing is to have fun drawing aliens, and then we can use the library to save parts of our graphics. And when we've actually finished a whole alien picture, we can then save the whole thing as a movie clip into the library in Animate and then use it later on in an animation. So we're going to make two aliens. We're going to make our little blue boy here, and we're going to make Mr. Greenie as well. And this will be further practice in using the drawing tools, because you really got to get good with these tools because good drawings make for good animations later on in the course. So after making the two aliens, you'll get a challenge task to draw your own alien. So here's some aliens which our students have made. So you can see following the theme of the spiky boy, we got a little strawberry alien there, which is kind of nice. And some pretty epic aliens here people have made. So you need to have sort of done our cookie cutter lesson to know how to do these eyes on the aliens. And some more here. This one, the sort of the alien piece of toast is what I call it, but I like it, I like it. And all these ones, and this one here is pretty epic. The student who did this took quite a while putting that all together with the pen tool and the pencil tool, but that looks really nice as well. So remember, I'm a bit of a slow talker, so make sure you increase the play speed of the video to 1.5 or 1.75. You just go to that tools cog where it says HD down on the YouTube player bar, click on that and go to playback speed and just set it up to 1.5 or 1.75 so that the video flows a lot better. Now it's going to be a fairly long lesson like all our lessons are, so make sure you use the timeline that's in the video index, which is in the video description, and then you can stop at any point here, and then later on you can come back and just click on the next number here and YouTube will jump to that point in the video. Now if you already know a bit about Animate, you might want to just jump to the live demo part. So you can just look at this timeline, go down to where we do the live demo and just jump to that and just look at the live demo. Now the pre-learning, it's important you've already learned something about the drawing tools already. So we had a whole lesson on that where we made our picture of our fabulous bullet train in Japan going past Mount Fuji. And we also did the cookie cutter lesson where we learned how to cut out things to make these eyes and how to cut a triangle out of a circle to make a Pac-Man and all that sort of thing. So we're going to be using those skills in this lesson. So you'll be a lot better off if you've done these previous lessons beforehand, because we'll assume that you already have. Now there's downloads for this lesson. You can get the PDF of the full step-by-step instructions. So what you might want to do is just go to the live demo in the video index and just watch the live demo, and then you can come back and read these instructions while you make your own alien. Now there's also PNG images of these completed aliens, so you can get those to have a good look at them and see what they look like if you want. And there's also this planet background, so that you can take your finished blue alien and put him into this background, which we're going to show you how to do in this lesson. All right, now the learning objectives are that we're going to join components together and then save them as a graphic symbol in the library. And then rather than redraw things all the time, we can just go grab a graphic symbol from the library and use it in our current drawing. So that's what we're going to be doing there. We're also going to learn the Polystar tool. That's how we make those kind of spiky sunshine heads on the aliens and draw stars by varying the number of point tips. And how to use linear gradient fill to make it look like light shining on them. So things just look like they were in a kid's coloring book if you do all the one color, but if you introduce gradients, they look a lot better. So we'll do that. How to use a radial gradient fill. Drawing tools, remember there's object drawing on and object drawing off, and that's important. So we're going to revise that and go through it. How to use the line tool so we can bend like we did in the cookie cutter lesson. And the arrow tool, we can actually bend and start off with a kind of an Easter egg oval and bend it into the shape of an alien head, which will be interesting. And we're going to be using layers as a feature here to put one object in front of another object. And then finally, we can save our finished alien into the library, but we can also save it as an external PNG image as well with a see-through clear background. So as you can see, there's a lot of stuff to do here, so it will be a long lesson, so use the video timeline index and take breaks if you need to. So drawing the blue alien, we'll go through all the steps first here, and then later on you'll see it in a live demo, but we're just having the good old 800 by 600 project, which we're opening up, and we're just having a white background. And get on the rectangle tool here and push down, and there's these other drawing tools. We're actually going to use the Polystar tool, which we haven't used before in our lessons. Now, the Polystar tool, you need to go to tool options, because the default is that it's a polygon, and it'll just draw a 5-sided polygon, which is a pentagon shape, which is nowhere not like a star. It's actually 2 tools in one. And I don't know why they just don't make 2 separate tools, or why don't they make it just default to stars, because people want to draw stars more than they do polygons. But anyway, must have been designed by maths teachers or something. I can say that because I used to be a maths teacher. Now, polygon. So we need to click that down arrow there and change it over to star. So we don't want polygon. So click this little arrow here and get it to be star. Number of sides, here's 5, and point size is 0.5. Now we're going to change those in a minute, but we won't do that just yet. So scroll up the properties and click on the color blocks to set the fill to blue. So, you know, you go window properties and you've got your fill, which is your coloring in color. We're just going to have blue to start off with a black stroke around it, an outline, and make that outline size 5 here in the settings. So make sure you're on window properties, go to tool and set all those things up. Now, on the tool options, lower down, we've set it to star, but we need more than 5 sides, because 5 sides will just make the normal star that's like on the American flag and stuff. We want to make our sunshine star like this, our spiky one. Now to make a spiky one, you just change this 5 into 20 and you leave the point size at 0.5, okay? And that will produce this. So make sure you change the number of sides up to 20. If you want a less spiky sun star, you can set the sides to 10 and increase the point size. If you put the point size equal to 1, well then you'll kind of get this guy here, which is kind of a nice looking alien head as well. All right. So number of sides 20, point size 0.5. Now we're going to change the fill color to a linear gradient blue. So what we do is you go window tab up the top and then go color, and then you get into this color mixer panel. And what we're going to do on here is make sure you're on paint bucket. All right, click on the actual paint bucket. Use this down arrow to change it to linear gradient. And then here we're going to double click in this one to make it a light blue, and double click in that to make it a really royal blue color, and that will make a fading sort of a cross color like this. All right, and we're going to set the stroke on the tool. So we've got that gradient color. We're going to set the stroke to size 5. So remember, the stroke needs to be size 5, and once you've got that set up, in the options, remember we need 20 and we need 0.5, and we need to make sure that object drawing is turned on. So on the Polystar tool here, we're set up to do this spiky star, but you need to click this one. This is really important, object drawing on. So it has that kind of light gray around it, so it is turned on. And you can also turn it on in the properties, but it's easiest just to go to the tools here and turn it on like that. But it needs to be turned on. Otherwise it's gonna, when you move things around, they'll do cookie cutting, and that's not what we want. So finally we're ready to draw the blue alien head. So you just push down your mouse and drag out, and you should be able to get this. And notice it's going light blue to royal blue here, and that kind of looks good. It looks like some light is shining on the side of the alien's head. So that's looking really good. Now up the top, go modify document, and we're going to change our stage color just to a gray color. So we're going to change it to this color because it'll just look easier to work on, and later on we're going to make some white eyeballs, so we want a grey colour, not pure white. So that's easily done. Modify document and stage colour here, just change that to a grey. Now, making the alien eyes, this was in the cookie cutter lesson, so we're assuming you've done that and you can make your eyes. And we want to use we've got our eye made here. I think we'll show you how to do it in the live demo anyway, in case you've forgotten. But once it's made and joined up into one object, then you can just get on this tool, the free transform tool, and go near the sides. And we want to rotate it round so the eye's kind of looking up towards the left-hand corner of the page. All right. And we need to make sure also that we've joined it all up together. So remember, you draw a square around it, right click, convert to symbol, make sure it's a graphic symbol called eye. Then we can do the rotating, and then we can move that eye into position, and we can hold down Alt and drag it across, or you can just do Control C and Control V to make another eye and then move that second eye into position. Now, to make the mouth, that was easy. Just get on the oval tool and change the fill color to black, and then we can just drag that out as that kind of sideways egg mouth, and that's our blue alien head all done. All right, so name that layer in the layers on the timeline down the bottom left-hand corner. Just double click in there and call that head. And we want to padlock that because we don't want to be messing with the head now, because that's all finished, okay? So you click here and the padlock should appear, and we've renamed it head, and we're all good to go with the head. Now we're going to draw just one kind of alien arm leg, and we'll save that to the library, and then we can use that for all the arms and legs, all right? So to make one arm, and then use convert to symbol to save it in the library. So we make a new layer, hit this plus sign down in the timeline left-hand corner, call this one arms legs, because we need that on top of the head layer. And we don't actually want it on top. We want the arms to kind of go in behind the body. All right, so you've got to push down and hold that and move it down and make sure head's on top, and this new layer, arms, legs, is down the bottom, and make sure you clicked on that. So that is the active layer. All right, now if we get onto our oval tool, we need to make sure object drawing mode is on. Now we're just going to use our blue and our black colors here, size 5. And we're going to use the oval tool to draw a foot. So we can draw the foot, all right, and that's all done. Then the leg to connect to the foot, just use the line tool to make that, and you can draw a line. Then remember, if you move near it with the arrow tool, you get that bendy symbol, like we did in the previous lesson for the emoji smile, the cookie cutter lesson, and then you can bend that so it looks like this, all right? So use the oval tool and then the line tool, and we're using stroke size 5 on that. All right, now the arrow tool with the mouse button held down, and then right click and convert to symbol. So if you get on your black arrow tool, the home tool, you can kind of draw a rectangle all around the whole thing so that you've got the oval and the bent line, and then you right click and you go convert to symbol, and we were going to call it arm leg, and the type is graphic, all right? And then you just have to click OK on that. And then we've got that saved, and we can use it for all of the other arms and legs. So if you click on the window tab and click on library, it should show you your library. So it should have library up here, and you can see you've got the eye that you saved, but if you click on arm leg, it should show you a picture of that arm leg that you've saved, and it's sitting there saved as a graphic object, all joined together as one inside the library. So we can also edit the arm leg if we want to. So if you have it here and you double click on it, all right, and I think that also works if you double click on it here, over here in the library, what happens is it goes down inside the arm leg and you can edit it. But we don't want to be sort of down inside it, making changes or anything. So if you've accidentally double clicked on this and you notice that you're out of scene 1, the top level, and you're down inside arm leg like this, you need to just click the back arrow or click on scene 1, which automatically saves and exits, okay? We want to be working in scene 1 while we're doing this. and don't make any changes to layer 1 on the timeline, which is part of the arm leg. Yes, when you double click on this and you go down inside arm leg actually has its own timeline, all right? And you might get confused and start doing changes in here, but they're changes to arm leg. They're not changes to your project. So don't do anything down in here, all right? That's a common trap. Students have accidentally double clicked on something, they're down inside the thing and they set up their whole animation and then it doesn't work properly because they weren't up in scene 1 when they did that, all right? So anyway, just be careful of that. Double clicking on things could take you down inside them. Just use the back arrow or click on scene 1 to get out of that, because a lot of our students have difficulties with that and problems. Now we want to change the arm oval fill from plain blue to gradient blue like we used on the head. So we need to make sure we click on the paint bucket icon first, otherwise you could be on stroke and mess things up. Okay, so we've double clicked and we're down inside our object, inside the arm, right? But make sure you click on this paint bucket icon. Don't click on the blue, click on the paint bucket icon, all right? Otherwise you might be on the pencil and changing the pencil. Now there is a little arrow here if you do things wrong to arrow it back the other way, but look, if you click on paint bucket, you shouldn't have that problem. So window color to get in the color mixer, click on paint bucket, change solid color to linear gradient, all right? Then you should have your gradient markers here, and you can just double click this one and make it light blue, double click that and make it royal blue, and that should change your leg, okay? So you need to have double clicked on the leg first so you're actually down inside it and can edit it. Now with these things too, if you click here, it'll add an extra color block, and if you need to get rid of it, you just push down and drag it away. So, and if one was missing and you only had one of these, to make a new one, you just click in here and it makes a new one. But if you need to get rid of it, there's no kind of trash can or anything, you just push down your mouse and drag it off there and let go and it disappears. And that's how we take care of that. All right, now that we've finished editing our arm leg, right, we need to get back up into our main animation at scene 1. So use this back arrow, or I think if you click scene 1, it does the same thing. All right, so we double clicked on this to get down inside arm leg. We did window color, made our changes. You can see the oval of the foot or the hand has changed here, and we're done. So we click that back arrow and we've finished editing it. All right, now we can take that arm now and move it and use the free transform tool to rotate it to get near the corner, and then you push down and you can turn it around like we learnt in previous lessons. And then we need to get this arm for the other side. So we've saved the arm in the library. This is where the library is so useful in Animate. And what we can do is we can just drag this. Now you need to click on this and drag this out and it'll give you another arm leg, all right? And this one we can get on that free transform tool and we can turn that one round as well. And so when we turn it round though, it's kind of upside down. We want this going up in the air like that, not sort of going down. So what you do is while you clicked on it, you can go to modify, transform, and then you go to flip vertical, and that's going to flip this around, okay? So modify, transform, flip vertical, and this guy will flip around. So now he's facing the right way, okay? And that's going to be good, and we can move him into position. He's going to match the other arm, okay? So because this was upside down the wrong way, we needed to flip it horizontally, vertically like this, and so it was modify, transform, flip vertical will fix that little problem for you. And then we've got the two arms that match. Now you can drag out from the library a leg and put it there, and we've kind of expanded it to make it a bit bigger as well. But when you're doing that second leg, it'll kind of be facing around the wrong way. So what you need to do is while you clicked on it, you just go to modify, transform, but this time you use flip horizontal, and that'll kind of get this second leg facing the right way, because you don't want both legs kind of kicking to the left. You want this one kicking to the right. So first up, when you drag it out of the library, it's going to be to the left. All you have to do is modify, transform, flip horizontal this time, horizontal, and you'll get your leg facing around the right way. It looks like a little blue alien dude is finished, so that's really good. And we can use file export to save it as an external PNG, and we can also save it to the library. All right, so let's look at how we save that into the library now. The complete finished drawing, we saved its eye and we saved its arm leg. Now we're going to save the complete thing. Because the head and arms and legs are on different layers, that's an issue. So you can't just draw a square round as usual and right click and go convert to symbol, because we've got the things on different layers. So we need to join those two layers up first, which is called merging them together. Kind of like on a highway when two lanes of traffic have to go down into one, they merge together. So you have to hold down the shift key while you click in both of these, so they're both blue and they're both selected. Then you can right click and go merge layers, and that will join them into one layer. And then before convert to symbol, on the arrow tool, hold down the mouse button, draw the rectangle round. So as usual, you carefully get on your arrow tool in the top left-hand corner, just draw around that whole thing so you got the head, the legs, everything highlighted, and then you can right click. Then you can just go up the top actually, so just draw around it so everything's highlighted, and then go modify convert to symbol, okay? And the symbol we're going to make is a movie clip, because if we wanted to make that move round in an animation later on, as you'll see in later lessons in this course, it's best to use movie clip rather than graphic. So we're going to call it Blue Alien Movie Clip and say OK. And now that guy will be in the library, so we can click on him here and drag him out and shrink him down, and we've got the mama alien and the little Bubba alien as well. And the little Bubba's copying its mum, because that's what little kids do. All right, so we could keep dragging them out, actually, make a whole alien family if we wanted to. Now, notice about editing and changing library objects, okay? If we could make the feet bigger by double clicking on the arm leg in the library and then using the resize tool to make it bigger. But what would happen is every single arm and leg, if you change it in the library, every single arm and leg out on the stage, they all change as well, because they all came from that original parent in the library. So if you change the parent in the library, all the children change as well. So what we needed to do is drag that leg out, and while it was out here, we could make it bigger on the stage, and then it was okay. But you wouldn't double click it in the library and make it bigger in the library, because then everything, all arms and legs would get bigger. And you can try that to sort of see what actually happens around with that. Now, you could also have your arm leg in the library, and you could right click on that and do duplicate, and then rename the duplicate as leg, and then edit that and make the leg a lot bigger in the library, and have two objects, one for arms and one's for legs. And much easier though to just drag an arm out and then on the stage just use the free transform to make it bigger, rather than mucking around making two things in the library. But that is handy to know. If you want to make a copy of something you've already got, you can, and it will be a different item. Now also, like we did, free transform. Now, if we want a different color for the baby alien, then you can duplicate the blue alien. So what we did here is we did right click and duplicate the blue alien in the library. Then we double clicked on the duplicate, and we could edit the color of its head, okay, but we couldn't change the color of the arms, because remember, the original parent of the arms was just one thing in the library called arm leg. So it's going to be, because this used arm leg and arm leg's blue, this guy here, you can't change it. You could, if you change this to pink, these ones will change to pink as well. All right, so that's a bit of a limitation. I suppose you could duplicate it and remake them here or something, but then it starts getting tricky, okay? So there is a bit of a thing about parents and children with the library. You'll kind of discover it as you go along, and this will make a lot more sense. But basically, if something's in the library and you want to change its color, anything else that's on your project that came from that original item will also change color. All right, finally ready to save the alien as a PNG image. All right, we could put on the internet or Facebook or send to our friends, whatever we want to do. So we go File, Export, Export Image, okay? And after a short delay, this large export panel is going to appear, which we'll see on the next page. Now on this, we usually set it to PNG 24 because that's the maximum quality. And we've also ticked transparency, which is going to make this checkered flag clear background so that it doesn't have a white background, it has a clear background. And then you could, if you wanted a black background or a white background or a custom color background, you can click on this one, like untick transparency, and use these matte or matte or whatever they are. You can have white, black, or you can have your own custom color. But we didn't do that. We went for transparency. And then once you've done that, all you have to do is click save, and it's going to save that item for you, just as a regular PNG image, which you can use anywhere you want. You can put this into a game you're making in Visual Studio or something like that as a character image. Now, if you want to use the alien picture, if you want to use it in another project, just go File, Import, and Import to Stage. And see, what we did was we had this other project here with background where it imported this picture of the gassy planet, which you can get from the downloads. So you can set up background and do File, Import, Import to Stage, get that picture in, and then you make a new layer with this plus sign, call that alien, and we File, Import, Import to Stage the alien, and then we can have the alien in front of everything on top of this picture, and have our scared little alien on the planet on his own, wondering what's going on. Okay, as you would be. That's a kind of really spooky planet. Now, making the green alien, that's the second part of the project. So we've been going for nearly 30 minutes now, so you might want to take a break. So just pause the video and take a break if you need to, or you could just leave the video for another day to finish off. You might want to just go off now and try and make your blue alien, that's fine. When you come back to the YouTube video, just go to the description text, find in the timeline where we start making the green alien, and just click the number on that, the blue number, and that should take you straight to the video right here where we're making the green alien. So take a break now if you need to. All right, so let's show you how to make this green alien, because then we can get on to the live demo. So to make this, we just start off with the oval tool and make a radial gradient Easter egg like that. And then you can use the arrow tool and you'll be able to push these sides and push these in, and you'll kind of be able to make this alien type of head on it, all right? You can just reshape it. And then we just use the oval tool and make a couple of ears for him. And then for the eyes, what we can do is we can actually go to our blue alien project, go into the library here where we've got an eye that's made already, and you can right click on that and you can go copy, all right? And then got that copied into memory, and we can actually go across to our green alien project and just go edit, paste in center, which will put it in the center of the stage, all right? So then we've got that eye, and we just moved it here and just used the free transform to drag it out to make it an oval shaped eye instead of a round eye, and then just Control C, Control V to make the other eye. So yeah, you can have the eye in another project and actually copy it between projects using the library, and this is why the library is so good in Animate to use. Now, after we've got the eyes, we just make it an oval tool, a black oval there for the mouth, and then we need a couple of kooky teeth. So you can just use the rectangle tool with stroke size 5 and fill white, and we can make those two little rectangles next to each other. And then we just use the line tool at the end to draw in a little green antenna, and then our little green boy is done. So let's go into the live demo now and show you how this all works. So if you need to take a break, take a break. Otherwise, here we are at the live demo. Okay, so we've started up Adobe Animate, the AN one. So we just go create new here on this opening screen. And we'll just go for our normal medium 800 by 600, which you get by going to either education or to game up the top here. But we just go with this one. Now we want that frame rate 24. That'll all be fine. HTML canvas, so we create. And after a little period of time, that makes this. Now, is that thing fitting on okay? I think it is fitting on. You can go view. No, sorry, you go up to this percent. I'm thinking Photoshop. Go up to this percent and go fit in window here so it all fits in. Now remember, we were going to make that a grey color. So we can just go modify document, and here we've got our stage color is white. So just click in that, and we're going to go for this gray color instead. So it's just a bit gray and better to see. And we need to make our alien head. So onto this Polystar tool, right? So we hold down on our normal rectangle oval tool, change to Polystar. Then we need to go Window Properties. And the fill, just click in that. We're going for that royal blue type color. Stroke is going to just be black, and we're setting the stroke size, remember, to 5. And then we need to go down here where it's not quite fitting on. It's got tool options. So we need to click that down, and then we need to use this scroller bar here to actually get down. Now we don't want to draw a polygon, because if you do that, you'll just get a pentagon like that, so that's no good to us. Let's just go back in this symbol here, gives us properties. So in the tool options, get down there. We need to use star, and remember we were going for not 5 points American flag star, we were going for 20 on that, and that should give us our little spiky alien head. Except I've made it go a bit off the screen there, so let's just try again. Aha, he goes to the left. All right, we might have to draw him just here. All right, so that's got the head done. Now, did we use object drawing mode when we did that? No, we didn't. See over here in the tools, object drawing wasn't turned on. Now, if object drawing's not turned on, let's just show you what happens. If we draw a rectangle here, when you drag the rectangle away, see how it's cut a hole in there? Okay, and it's made a real mess. So, Control Z. So remember, when you're on your Polystar tool, make sure you click this guy here and have object drawing turned on. It's got a very faint gray kind of around it, which is hard to see, but it is object drawing turned on. And now, if we draw our guy, he should all be one object, and we can just see how he's in a blue box, and we can just move him around and stuff. Maybe isn't quite big enough, so we can stretch him out a bit with that free transform tool, and that's looking pretty good. Now we needed to make some eyes for our guy. So let's just move that over here. Now remember, for making eyes, if you go back to the other lesson where we did the cookie cutters, we don't want stroke when we do this, and our first thing is to make the black background for the eye. So we're going to sort of make the eye over here to the side. So there's our black background, and then the second step was that you need a white one. So remember, stroke is just set to this guy, no color, and then you needed your white one, which was needed to be a little bit smaller than the black one. Then we just needed another one to do the cookie cutting with. So on oval tool, let's go to properties. This one we'll just make bright red. And this one here, we kind of make it about the same size as the white one. Now we've done all of this with object drawing turned on. So that's going to be no good. I knew I'd do stuff wrong here. See, when you put them, they've all got the blue around them. They won't do cookie cutting. So this is one of the rare times where we need to make sure object drawing is turned off. Okay, so let's go again. We're not doing squares. Oh, how to make a mess of things. All right, let's get on the oval tool. Yeah, you can change the color here too, which is a handy thing. And remember, we wanted the, first we wanted the round one, the black background. Maybe we're doing a little bit too big, doesn't matter. Then we can change over to white, and we wanted the white inside part of the eye, which is a little bit smaller. Then we wanted to change to red, and the whole time here, notice object drawing is off, because there's a very good reason for that. Okay, so this time when we click on this, see how it goes all dotty? That means object drawing's off. Now I'm going to do this carefully because we moved this guy up to here, and I might just use the arrow tool to put him across like that. Then remember, the idea is to click off, then you click back on, and then you drag it, and it does the cookie cutting, right? And so then this guy here, we move on to here. And just use our arrow tool. But that's sort of our eye, okay? So that's finished. We can draw a box around the red one and press the delete key on our keyboard. This one we need to make into a graphic symbol. So we draw a rectangle all around it and we right click and go convert to symbol. There it is down there. And we are going to call this the eye for our guy, and make it graphic. Make sure that registration dot's in the middle and click OK. So now we have an eye and we can free transform it, because remember the eye was supposed to be looking up like that. Maybe we didn't, maybe we made the white bit not big enough, but anyway. There we go, this will do. And then you can go Control C, Control V and get another eye and put that in there. And see, because there are, we've made it into a graphic symbol object, it's not doing cookie cutting as we move it around, so that's really good. Now on the oval tool, back on the oval tool, we need to have black and we just need to draw. Now, Control Z, let's have object drawing turned on. Okay, I could draw that over there. Why can't I just draw it on top of here? I can. All right, so that's our little guy's mouth, and we can click on it and use our little arrow tools on the keyboard to move it into position. Okay, so that's the head done. Now remember, this layer here we call head. All right, and we had to make another layer, a new layer down here, and that one's called arm leg. Okay, and then we had to push down our mouse and hold on that arm leg and drag it so it's underneath head. Now head is done and we don't want to mess that up, so we're going to put a padlock on it. And we're going to click down here, so arm leg's highlighted and we're working on arm leg. Now for arm leg, we need to be on the oval tool and we just need a royal blue to start off with. Maybe that one's a bit too dark. You can also go across and color dip into here. So we'll just color dip in there to get the exact same blue. For the stroke color, we need stroke on this. And then we'll have to go to properties and we want a stroke size of, if we click on stroke. Now see how stroke isn't showing? You've got to make sure you clicked on stroke to get this to show. So I think we have to click on that and select a stroke, and then this becomes active, which is a bit of a pain, but that is set to 5. And remember, you can just click in there and change it if you need to. So we've got all of that done, so we can just make a little kind of arm leg thing like that. And then we get on the line tool, and on the line tools property, so that's the line tool just here, the sloping line, we need to make sure we're on stroke black, size 5, that's all good. And we can draw kind of our line like that. Then we get on the black arrow tool. Remember, when you move near it, see how you get that bendy symbol? And what we can do is we can bend this, get the bendy symbol, he says. Come on, bendy symbol. Okay, and we can move that like that. Then what we needed to do was, remember, hold down your mouse on the black arrow, draw all around it so it's all selected, and then go modify, convert to symbol, and this one needed to be called arm leg, because we're going to use it for both the arms and the legs. So we just name that arm leg, graphic symbol is good, and say OK. And if we go window library, you can see our arm leg is in the library, and if we want another arm leg, we can just drag it out and put it on there. All right, so I'll just control CTRL-Z or CTRL-Z, because this guy here we need to get on the free transform tool and we need to rotate him around. But before we do that, let's just put him over here. Let's go back to head, and we can't do anything. Let's unpadlock the head layer and move, not his center. Get on the black arrow tool. Come on. Now there's a problem. What we should also do on our head here is let's draw a big square around it. And let's just right click and convert to symbol. And let's just call that the head. So it's all joined up together. All right, then we can move it around and it won't fall apart. Let's get that guy in the middle like that. Go back to the head layer down the bottom here, padlock it again. Get on your arm leg layer so it's active. I've hit the eye here instead of the padlock. See how it disappeared? The eye temporarily hides it clicking on the eye. We want the padlock to lock it up. Arm leg. All right, let's quit messing around here. Get onto that free transform tool and we can rotate. See how we get near the corner and we've got that turnaround symbol? That's when you push down your mouse and hold it. And this is why we put it behind the other one, so that we could just move it like that and his arm's sort of coming out like that. Now, if we go Control C, Control V, we can copy that. But what we can also do is, because we saved in the library, we'll just go Window and Library, or you can click the library books icon over here if you've got it, and we'll drag out another arm leg. Okay, now this one, when we turn it round and we move it into position, see how it's kind of facing the wrong way round? We want it kind of bending up and it's bending down. So remember, that was your modify, transform, and flip vertical to get it the right way. Then we can just grab this guy and put him in there, and we can turn him round a bit. So he's kind of there. Back to our library books again, drag out another arm leg. This one we're making a bit bigger. Okay, and that can just slot in there to be one of his legs. Now, if we drag out, now to keep it the same size, actually, we won't use it from the library. We'll just go Control C, Control V here, and we've got another arm leg. But see how it's pointing? Well, you could have them both going like that. But what we now want to do is we want to go Modify, Transform, and Flip Horizontal this time. Look, if you do flip vertical, you'll see it's wrong. So you can hold down CTRL and press Z or Z if you're in the USA. We just want to go Modify, Transform, Flip Horizontal like that. Okay, then this leg's kind of facing like that, and that kind of looks better. All right, so there's our little dancing alien guy, and remember, you can now get onto the arrow tool and draw a big rectangle around all of that, so all the bits are highlighted, and go Modify, Convert to Symbol. So this is our blue alien, and we're going to save it as a movie clip because we might want to use this in an animation sometime. So we save those movie clips. We go Window, Library, or you can use the library book icon. There, when you click on these, we've got that. We've got our blue alien who hasn't got a head. Oh no, the poor guy. So if we bring him out like this, he's got no head. Okay, what did we do wrong, kids? All right, so blue alien, let's take that and delete it, all right, from the library. Actually, no, Control Z. We've got that blue alien. Now, what are we going to have to do here? Right click and rename. So we'll call that blue alien no head. No good. All right, what we forgot to do, guys, was we needed to merge the head in with the arm leg. So down in the timeline here, remember, click on the head, click on arm leg, okay, so that they're both highlighted. Then right click and go to merge layers. And then they join up into one layer, which means they're all flat and they're all together. So if we now draw our rectangle around it, see how the head's selected as well there? And we go Modify, Convert to Symbol. And this is going to be the good blue alien. Okay, let's go to our library books. So can we delete this guy, or is that gonna, no, that will delete arms and legs that were children. Okay, interesting. Let's just, let's call that the blue alien no good. blue. Do not delete. Okay, so I'll have to call that, make sure I remember not to delete that. But we have our good blue alien now. It's got heads and arms and legs. So if you drag that guy out and you make him smaller, there we go. We got the little baby alien as well. And if we don't want that, we can just press delete. Now, the last thing to do with this is File, Export. Export as animated GIF. No, not animated GIF, guys. Sorry. Done the wrong thing there. Cancel. You only do that if you've actually got something moving. We don't have anything moving here. So it's File, Export, Export Image. Okay, it's just a still image. So remember, we use PNG 24 because that's the highest quality. And see these matte colors, you can have white if you wanted to have a white background, but we actually want transparency. And if you click in here, you can kind of customize. You could have a yellow background, I think, if you wanted to, but we don't want that. We want it just transparent like this, so it's see-through. You can do a preview down here on the left-hand side. If we preview that, it's just going to show us in our browser what it looks like. I think you have to be connected to the internet maybe for that to work. And then we just go save because the guy's ready, save, and that can be renamed to Blue Alien. I'll just put MC for movie clip there. No, Blue Alien PNG image. There we go, let's save that. And if we go to our Windows folders, that should be there. All right, now we're going to leave our blue alien there and we're going to do the green alien. So we're just going to make a new project for that because remember, we want to copy these eyes between projects and stuff. So this one here, we're just going to modify, document, get that background kind of a gray color. And we're going to get on our good old friend, the oval tool. We're going to go to the properties. So the fill we want is kind of this green color and stroke about 5. But then we want to have object drawing turned on, which it is, so that's all good. Now let's go to window color to get to the color mixer. Window color. It's down here somewhere, color. There is also an artist's kind of symbol here you can use for color as well to get to it. But anyway, we're in the color mixer and make sure you clicked on paint bucket. See how it was on pencil? There's a little bit of a gray thing around pencil. It's a favorite trick of Animate's to do that. You want to be on paint bucket. So click on paint bucket, make sure it's gray and make sure it's a linear gradient. And we don't want that color. What we want is to kind of have this green going, whoops, double click on this, going into a real kind of fluoro green like that. Now remember, if you click here and add another one, you can get other things happening. And if you don't want that one, you just push down your mouse and grab it and just pull it away and then it's gone. But that's what we want. Now we don't actually want linear gradient, we want radial gradient. And I think, now let's have a look. Do we want that around the outside or the inside? That one is going to be dark in the middle and bright on the outside. I can't remember which way around it was. You can slide these. So we'll take that one over there and this one over here. And then it's going to be bright in the middle and dark around the outside. So kind of like it look like a spotlight shining on it. So I think that's what we want. So we can just use these double arrows here to close that. And at last, if we look at our colors here on the tools, we are ready to go. And let's just draw this blue alien head quickly. And I think that's what we wanted. Now, you know how we bent lines? Well, you can also bend oval shapes, or you can bend rectangles if you want to. Okay, so all sorts of shapes we can bend. So I'm just going to pull that in and push these out to give him his big alien head here. Okay, now that's all done. This one maybe isn't quite equal. I think that's pretty good. Maybe that. That's the trouble. You start fiddling around with these. Oh, because we need some room for those bucky teeth, don't we? All right, we'll try it at that. Now remember, to do the eyes, we could go back here to our previous project. So I'm just using these tabs up the top here, where we've got, if we go into the library, we've got an eye here. So you can right click and copy that, and then you can go to your other project here, the alien one. We can get into, actually we don't even have to be in the library. You can just go edit, and you go paste in the center, and that'll bring it into the center of your stage. And if you go to your library books and look now, it has bought the eye and saved it in the library as well. So that's really neat how you can copy between libraries in different projects. All right, so this guy here, remember we're just making his eyes kind of smaller than that, maybe like that. So I got one eye there, and we can just go Control C, Control V, so the other eye is the exact same size. Move that round thing, which I shouldn't have done, that should be in the middle. Okay, so there's his eyes. That's all good. Back on the oval tool, we'll give him a couple of, he's got his little ear things down here. So if we just draw one ear and then click on it, because we used object drawing mode was turned on, that's all right. Control C, Control V, and I'm mindful of the time here, so I want to get this wrapped up. There's his other ear, and with the oval tool now, we'll just change over to black and give him his mouth. And we want to move that. Now the easiest way to move it is just get on the arrow tool, click on it, and use your arrow keys on your keyboard. And the last thing we want, second last thing we want, is to change over here on the tools, push down on oval and get on rectangle. For rectangle we want white in the middle, so I'm just doing the color picking down here because it's quicker on the tools bar at the left. And we need to draw, let's just draw it over here. So we've got one twofer, and we'll take that into position. Let's give this guy 3 teeth. Now if we hold down ALT, then you can copy things. And let's just use that arrow tool. Okay, so this guy has 3 teeth. If we hold down Shift, we can just get all 3 of them clicked. So hold down Shift while you're doing clicking, kind of move that in the middle. And there's his teeth, and he just needs his antennae. So if we get on the line tool and change over and use the color dipper just to get this same green color that's here. Now we will have to go to properties. Will 5 be enough? Let's make his antenna maybe 8, a bit thicker. And so we can just draw that there, and it's not drawing green. Okay. Let's go on the line tool, and let's go back to its properties. The stroke wasn't the right color. We need to dip into this color, and I think 8's going to be too big. Let's just keep it at 5. Okay, so boop, 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 boop. Now the top line isn't quite right. You can just click on it and just use your arrow tool to nudge it. All right, so that's our green alien, and now that he's finished and he is all on one layer, we should be able to get on our arrow tool and draw all around this guy and modify, convert to symbol, or you can just go up the top here, modify, convert to symbol, so we'll call that green alien. Okay, and that should be in our library. And if you want to, you can actually copy this one and go back to your blue alien project and paste this guy in, right click, paste in center. Okay, so our spiky alien's become a green alien. All right, and yeah, if you go to the library, that's there. And we could sort of draw a big square around that and make it a new alien, a composite hybrid alien. Right, now the last thing is, what if we want to put that image we saved into a background? So we'll go File, New. I think this is the very last thing because we're nearly up to an hour as usual. All right, so we've got this and we're just going to go File, Import, and import it straight onto the stage. Now in the downloads, you'll get this picture here called Train Tracks, because it was originally from a Train Tracks picture. As long as you stretch this out, you can make it, look, you can make it bigger than the background, because when you save it, Animate crops it anyway. So let's just go Fit in Window. And that's one layer, so that's the planet. So let's go in the timeline and double click in there and call it planet. Make a new layer because we want the alien on its own layer, and it needs to be in front of this background. So we need to put it up here. And if you just go File, Import, we'll just import it to the stage. There's our blue alien. Now his black arms are a little bit of a problem. You can't quite see them, but anyway, there's our little blue alien. All right, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And I think if you go to the library, the blue alien is there. So if you wanted more blue aliens, you can just drag them all out here. And we can make the blue alien planet. So you can just keep dragging them out of the library and have a whole little planet of them. Here's a guy over here. They're all looking. The mothership must be coming. They're all gazing in that direction. All right, so that wraps up the lesson. So let's get back and finish this guy off. All right, so the challenge task for you is to design and draw your own aliens. So use these examples that students have done for inspiration and have fun with Adobe Animate. That's the end of the lesson. We hope you enjoyed it. Showed you skills all about the library, how you can copy between projects using the library, save things in the library. The library is great. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel because we're putting out videos whenever we can. We're very pressed for time at the moment. We got this one out, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next lesson.